We hear a lot about lymphatic filariasis, this awful disease that affects millions of people. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Well, it's not just a story about statistics. It's a story about a microscopic and frankly brilliant master of survival. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the fascinating, complex, secret life of the parasite that causes it, Brugia malayi.
So you really have to ask yourself, how does a worm this tiny manage to outsmart massive global health efforts? That's the central question we're tackling. We're going to peel back the layers on this parasite's incredibly sophisticated strategies, from its wild life cycle to its clever adaptations, to really understand why it's such a persistent threat.
All right, let's meet our subject, Brugia malayi. Now, you may have heard of its more famous cousin, Wucheria bancrofti, which causes most cases of this disease. But don't let that fool you. Brugia malayi is a major player and it's incredibly complex.
And when we say a major player, we mean it. It's responsible for about 10% of all lymphatic filariasis cases. Now, that might not sound like the majority, but 10% of a huge global problem is still a staggering number of people. It's heavily concentrated in communities across South and Southeast Asia, making it a massive regional health crisis.
So to get a handle on this worm, we need to know where it lives. It's an endoparasite. That means it's not like a tick or a flea living on the outside of a toast. Nope. This one's an insider. It carries out its entire life's work deep inside the human body, setting up shop right in our lymphatic system. But to really appreciate just how complex this organism is, we gotta look at where it sits in the grand scheme of life. Its scientific classification isn't just a list of boring names. It's more like a blueprint for its entire biology and behavior.
And this is a really crucial distinction. We're not talking about a simple single-celled organism like the protozoa that causes malaria. No way. Brugia malayi is a metazoan, a complex multicellular animal. It's a roundworm, and it comes complete with different body parts, separate males and females, the whole shebang. Its life strategy is just way more sophisticated.
This table here lays it all out for us. From the animal kingdom right down to its species name, you can see its whole lineage. It's in the phylum Nematoda, the roundworms, and check out its family, Onchocercidae. That family is notorious. It's basically a who's who of disease-causing filarial worms. So yeah, this parasite comes from a very tough crowd.
So how does this complex little animal even get from one person to another? Well, that brings us to the very core of its survival strategy, an intricate two-host life cycle. You can think of the worm's entire existence as a biological relay race, constantly passing the baton between an insect and a mammal.
Let's walk through this incredible journey. It all kicks off when a mosquito bites an infected person and swallows these microscopic baby worms, called microfilaria. Inside that mosquito, the larvae grow and develop. Then, when the mosquito bites another human, bam! The now infective larvae get passed on. They travel to the new host's lymphatic system, grow up into adults, and start the whole cycle all over again. And you have to see this timeline. It's a life of total extremes. The development inside the mosquito is lightning fast. We're talking just a week or two. But once inside a human, the adult worms can live for 5 to 15 years. Just let that sink in. For over a decade, they can cause chronic inflammation and damage, all while turning their human host into a long-term reservoir for spreading the disease. It's just wild.
So what does this long-term occupation actually look like? Let's go inside the human body and see these parasites in their chosen home, the lymphatic system.
Okay, what you're looking at here is a micrograph from a human lymph node biopsy. Each one of those little circular things is a cross-section of an adult female Brugia malayi. They are literally clogging up the highways of the immune system, just living and thriving right inside the body's fluid drainage and defense network.
And when we zoom in, the detail is absolutely incredible. You can actually see the worm's internal anatomy. Those two big chambers you see, those are its uterine tubes, and they are packed, just stuffed, with developing offspring. So you see, this isn't just a parasite living inside a host, it's a microscopic factory constantly churning out the next generation. It's this incredible biological efficiency that makes Brugia malayi such an elusive foe. Seriously, public health initiatives face enormous challenges because this parasite is just so adaptable and so persistent. And here's a perfect example of that adaptability. Brugia malayi isn't just one single entity. It has two distinct forms. The periodic form is a human specialist. Its offspring only appear in the blood at night, perfectly timed to meet mosquitoes that bite at night. Super clever.
But then there's the subperiodic form. This one's more versatile. It infects animals and humans, and its offspring can be found in the blood around the clock. You can see how that makes it an incredibly tricky parasite to track and control.
And this is where the real challenge lies. The fact that it can live in animal reservoirs is a massive hurdle for eradication. You can treat every single infected person in a village, but if the parasite is still circulating in local animals like cats or macaques, it can always spill back over into the human population. And this isn't just a theory. We've seen it happen in places like Indonesia and Sri Lanka, causing the disease to reemerge.
Now you might be thinking this is only a problem in tropical Asia, but in our interconnected world, diseases don't always stay put. International travel can turn a regional parasite into a global diagnostic challenge.
Let's just take a country like the Netherlands. Brugia malayi cannot survive there naturally. The climate isn't right, and the specific mosquitoes it needs to complete its life cycle just don't exist there. This means every single case diagnosed in the Netherlands is an imported one.
So these cases show up in people who have traveled to or lived in those areas. You know, a tourist returning from a trip, an immigrant, or an expatriate can carry this parasite with them. They end up bringing a tropical disease to a clinic in a temperate country, which really highlights why global health awareness is so important for doctors everywhere.
So after this whole microscopic journey, what's the ultimate takeaway? Well, I think it's that fighting a disease like lymphatic filariasis means you're fighting a master of adaptation. It's just a powerful reminder that in our world, from a microscopic worm to global travel, everything is connected.
We were able to put together this whole narrative by pulling information from a lot of different sources, and we used a Gemini deep search to help us piece together this pretty complex biological story.
And if you want to dive even deeper into the research, we've compiled a complete list of all our sources for you. It's in the Notebook LM document that's linked right in the description.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the secret life of Brugia malayi. If this explainer helped you understand this complex topic, please subscribe to our channel for more. We'd love to hear what you think, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.